Dating really sucks. I think it sucks even more when people see you as successful or independent. I'm independent because I have to be. Who am I supposed to depend on? At work, I lead, I make decisions, I solve problems. In dating, in my relationship, I just want peace. That's why planning matters so much to me. Effort, consistency, leading. I want to feel lighter emotionally, mentally, financially. Not because I can't do it alone. I'm just tired of having to.
And I just want to let y'all know something. These men make time for who they want to make time for. Stop begging these men for a text back. Stop begging these men for a call back. They call them who they want to talk to. They text them who they want to talk to. Stop asking him to come see you or take you somewhere. He's taking the girl he really wants to see on the date and he's going to see her. Stop begging these men. It's like so many fish in the sea. Why cry over the bum one?
When a man says, I'm not ready for a relationship, it's one of these 5 things. I'm gonna let you in on a little secret. He has no money and he doesn't want to risk feeling insignificant in your life. There's a bit of shame and insecurity around his instability. He's not grounded in his purpose. He has commitment issues, and a very powerful one, he hasn't had a vision or does not have a vision of you two in his future. One of those 5.
A lot of these men know that a woman will get online and say, I'm strong and independent. I don't need no man. But then be having him in the other room or hollering and screaming all this stuff. He paying the bills, but then still be online getting validation and attention from other dudes in the DMs.
Chivalry is dead, and women it. Feminism is here. Women are more educated than ever before. They're making their own money, but as a byproduct of them becoming more successful, they do have a little bit more of a masculine energy. You're not going to be successful in business by being passive and you're going to need to be a little more masculine. And on top of that, women are having a bit more which is fine. All power to you. But you just can't expect a man to be traditional, hold the door for you, treat you like a lady when you're no longer a traditional woman. So guys adapted to this situation because in reality, men haven't really changed. Women have.
What's going on, fellas? Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. Leave a comment down below. Let's get back to the video.
And more, men are starting to act like women. Men are starting to act like they want flowers too. Okay? They want to be told that they're pretty too. They want their hair done too. They want to wear lipstick and all that other stuff too. And still date women. It's a difference if he okay, that's a whole different story. But we're talking about men who claim to be straight. However, they aren't willing to act like they're a masculine man willing to earn a woman. And I'm going to tell you why. Ladies, we were bamboozled out of our power. It's like putting kryptonite on Superman, because that means that if we were bamboozled out of our power, men no longer had to worry about being vulnerable to our will.
In a highly simplified version, it breaks down like this. Men are trying to get as much as possible from women for the least amount of time, energy, and money. And women are trying to get as much time, energy, and money from men for the least amount of sex. This is obviously an oversimplification, but there must be at least some truth to it because we typically don't see the roles reversed. So when a man is actually in a relationship with you, in that he's taking you out on dates, and listening to your problems and meeting your family and taking you on trips and supporting you emotionally. In short, when he is heavily investing time, energy, and money into you, and then he learns that you the guy that you met at a bar an hour ago and who ghosted you the next day, he's going to feel like a total schmuck for overpaying for something that you are obviously willing to sell for a fraction of the price. And I guarantee that will change the way he perceives you forever.
Modern women don't really know what they want, right? You want a man to take the lead in a relationship, but then you want him to also respect your independence. I'm independent. I don't need nobody. I want you to be decisive, but don't be so decisive that I can't be independent. You got to be so decisive that you got to know when I don't want to be independent. And you got to know when I want to step in and be independent. That's the type of man that I want. You got to know when I want to be told what to do versus when I don't want to be told what to do. And when I don't want to be told what to do, you just get out the way. Huh?
Do you think men fear commitment more because they lack the ability to be emotionally transparent and to be received for their range of emotions?
From the men that I've worked with, the greatest fear is their inadequacy, that I'm really not all she thinks I am. What happened during COVID? The divorce rates went through the roof because you couldn't be at work for 8 hours. For me, I was sad when COVID was over. But if you're with the suits, the bravado, all this other stuff, that's your aura all day. Then you get married and now she can see. Now oh, wait a minute, why are you depressed? I thought we're living our best life. I thought nothing bothers you. What happened?
What I'm saying is intelligent women, they have the smallest dating pool because they have the least amount of tolerance for BS.
Now, I'm embarrassed to admit this, but I looked up the data, and of course, there's no data anywhere stating that a woman, because she's been single for 2 years, is more likely to be intelligent. Obviously, that isn't real. But why does he say that? He says that because he understands there's single women in his audience that he wants to get the approval of, get likes and follows and shares, etc. So that's why he makes these ridiculous statements. And here's the problem. Instead of actually being honest with some of these women and saying, hey, listen, maybe the problem is you're intelligent, but also the problem might be the fact that, you aren't taking care of yourself, or you're in a city where there aren't a lot of great people to date, or maybe there's certain things in your personality that make it difficult for you to date. Instead of her taking accountability for the fact that she's single, instead he's just saying, no, the reason why you're single is because you're intelligent. This is ultimate gaslighting and extreme levels of pain.
Generation is so cooked. People are legitimately standing behind a statement that you have to accept infidelity to have a long-term relationship with somebody. Are you stupid? Listen to me, I would happily be single for the rest of my natural life than accept infidelity. Happily.
And you'll have a lot of these modern women that will ask about chivalry. They'll ask about a man being traditional, right? But the issue is, when the man was giving you flowers, you were rolling your eyes at him. You was giggling, you was laughing. A man go and open a door for you, he get a lecture on how you're strong and independent, and you don't need no man, and thanks, but and whatever other stupid stuff that you want to come with. Oh, well, thanks, but I really don't need that, so I don't want you holding on my hand. I wasn't going to do that. I was just being a gentleman like I was taught. When men continue to come up against that attitude over and over again, why in the world would they keep on going in that direction? Why would they keep on doing that? Why would they keep on giving you the benefit of him being a gentleman, and you're just going to act stupid?
And to be quite honest with you, I don't care why you're masculine.
It don't even matter.
I don't care what happened to you I'm a 40-year-old man.
You got a daughter?
No, I don't.
Because we compare your feminine.
But my point is this.
Right.
You all wouldn't care if a man came to you feminine and said, my dad wasn't in my life. My mom didn't teach me this. You say, bro, you 38 years old. I don't want to deal with a feminine man that hasn't addressed his issues. So for me, dealing with a woman that way, I'm going to tell you the same thing. I understand you had issues or whatever growing up and you had to be a certain way, but I'm not going to put up with it as far as trying to be in a relationship with you because you don't know how to be a feminine woman.
So what's a feminine woman? What's your definition?
A woman that basks in her femininity. She knows how to be submissive to a man. She knows how to speak life into a man. She knows how to nurture. She knows how to take care of a home and take care of kids. She knows how to be accountable. She knows how to be reasonable. She knows how to be understanding when she's dealing with a man.
I don't understand how men have such an irrational fear of being used for money that they don't have.
Who says they don't have it? Also, a person has a right to protect their resources from random people that just want to take from them. Using can be as simple as you genuinely not being interested in him and him taking you out to a $30 dinner and paying when you had no intention on even listening or getting to know him. You just spend the whole day on your phone, which is actually something I hear often from men. Using doesn't necessarily have to be him buying you a new car or a boat. A lot of men have been used. I would argue most men have been used at least once. So them wanting to set boundaries and protect their resources is perfectly valid, especially for someone who doesn't even care about them. A lot of men have zero issue being generous towards people who reciprocate and care about them back. But as soon as they see that the dynamic is one-sided, that's when they have an issue with it. And besides, when did it ever become acceptable to demand and think you're entitled to somebody else's stuff?
I think it's funny because modern women, they want a man to lead, but then they don't want him to lead. Like, they want him to provide, but don't be the sole provider. You know what I mean? Like, it gets real confusing because you're never really ever sure exactly what they want. And so if men have to like continue to like try to guess what you want, how is that appealing? You could be out here giving somebody your money and they'd be like, so what is it that you actually want? I would love to do business with you, but what is it that you're actually looking for? And I think that's what most men struggle with. They don't actually know what a woman wants. These modern women. It used to be that you can get a read on what they're looking for, but nowadays it's a little bit more difficult.
No one talks about how intimacy affects everything in your marriage. And no, I don't just mean what happens in the sheets. I'm talking about the kind of intimacy that lets your body relax. The kind that makes you feel chosen, safe, seen, and supported. Because when intimacy feels strong, life feels different. Stress does not hit as hard. Confidence comes back. Motivation returns. You show up better, not just at home, but everywhere. A man who feels deeply loved stands taller. A woman that feels emotionally secure finally can breathe. Communication flows easier. Defensiveness softens. Arguments don't have the same grip. When intimacy is nurtured, resentment has a lot less room to grow. Marriage feels lighter, stronger, more connected. You stop surviving side by side and start building a life together. This is not about performance, it is about presence. It's choosing closeness in a world that constantly pulls marriages apart. Because when love feels safe, life feels possible. Intimacy creates momentum in marriage, and that momentum changes everything.
If submission to your husband is dependent on his behavior, it's not submission, it's manipulation. Why is that? Because God told you to submit to your husbands in everything. He didn't tell you to have a caveat. I'll submit if he does what I say. I'll submit if he acts right. I'll submit when he doesn't offend me. That's not submission, ladies. And the problem that many of you are having in your marriages and in your homes is that you want to make submission a transactional engagement when submission is really a spiritual assignment from God. If this offends you, good. I meant to, because you're out of order. If you want to get in order, type apply. If not, keep scrolling.
And I think a lot of the, or I should say, one of the issues is that modern women come up with this whole list that they quote unquote need from a man. And really a lot of it is just wants, right? He's got to be 6 feet tall. He's got to be emotionally available. He's got to have a 6-pack. He's got to have 6 figures. He's got to be, like I said, emotionally available, spiritually grounded, and all of that. The whole 9 yards. He's got to do this, 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 and this. And then the man turn around and ask, okay, well, what are you bringing to the table? And the answer, and she's probably not going to say that, but the answer is going to be confusion. It's going to be an attitude. That's what it's going to be. Even though I'm saying I really don't want to be bothered with that. Confusion, attitude, chaos. How many people think that that's a fair trade? How many people think modern women actually, I can answer the question for you. Modern women actually think that that's a fair trade. Men don't, by the way, just so we're clear. Men don't think me bringing a whole host of things to the table, I'm emotionally available, I'm spiritually grounded, all that, and then what I get back from you is confusion, attitude, and you acting silly, they're not going to think that that's a fair trade.
What is flirting? Flirting is something that is artificially created by you. There was a guy in a movie and his superpower was whatever he touched. If he touched this water bottle, it would decay and rot. That's what most guys are doing in their dating life too, by the way. Whatever they touch, it just like her attraction just instantly vaporizes and she's like, ew. The way that you want to do the opposite is like you touch something and blossoms into this beautiful, attractive conversation. This is a superpower, man. I talk about in my book. So perception is key. Perception means how you view something. Let's say something that she is saying and you intercept that and you make that flirty, dirty, and any other word that rhymes with that, squirty. Let's say like she spilled water on herself, again, that example, right? She's like, I'm wet right now. You want to take what she's saying and make that flirty, right? Most guys are, oh, here's a towel. Your towel, bro. Make it flirty. Instead of being like, here's a towel, or like, let me go get you a paper towel, like a little. Instead, you want to say something like, you're wet right now? I mean, I tend to have that effect, I guess. Like, I just, you gotta control yourself around me, okay? Like, you got some severe mental issues over here, man. Like, you gotta go get some therapy or something like that.
You know what femininity is, chat? You know what femininity is? A big part of femininity is a woman being quiet, being docile, right? Did you ever think why men are attracted to feminine women and not masculine women that are loud as? Why are black women at the bottom of the totem pole? You ever think about it? Huh? The reason why black women are at the bottom of the totem pole is because they're fat and they're loud and they're obnoxious and they're masculine. All the traits that men don't want. Why Asian women rank so well? Because Asian women typically aren't fat, they're quiet, and they're feminine and they're submissive. There's a reason why Asian women constantly win when asked what type of women a man wants in dating polls. Because the stereotype is this: quiet, feminine, submissive. Men naturally go for this, okay? Why does a man want a quiet woman? Because number one, our life is loud enough. We have to fight with everyone else. We have to fight with everything, with everybody. The last thing we want to do is come to a loud house where a woman is talking. We do enough talking when we're outside. And quite frankly, I already did my talking on the outside. I already built myself up. I already put myself in a certain place. Last thing I want to do is talk when I'm home. Shut the up. And I want you guys to be unapologetic about this because it is in your biology, it's in your DNA to want peace and quiet, because when you go outside, it's already hectic enough. You go to war every time you go outside. Last thing you want is war inside the house. So do not tolerate a lot that talks back to you, ever. Ever.
A lot of these modern women will continue to say that men use them as an emotional punching bag and they have to do so much emotional labor, then turn around and call that man at 2 o'clock in the morning when she has problems. The problems, by the way, that he said at 6 p.m., you're about to have this problem. And by the way, the same problem that you had that he was telling you about at 6 p.m., he told you about at 10 p.m. And then again at 11 p.m. And then again at 12:30. And now the problem is coming to fruition at 2 a.m. He told you that. But you act like you didn't hear him, right? So he got to hear about that. He does all of that for you, and then you still don't want him. You're still out there messing with Chad and Tyrone. Well, I want a man that plans. You got to plan this, and this. We've seen modern women on social media walk into the room and complain about what a man did. Oh, where are these types of flowers at? Huh? Oh, where is this at? Oh, well, I'm looking for this. Am I your employee? Am I staff? Am I your executive assistant? Are you okay? Are you insane? Because right now you're treating me like you hired me instead of treating me like a partner. Are you good right now?
Except for I signed up as a yes. right? Like, I don't care if I feel like it. I don't care if I want to. I'm your partner. I'm your partner. I'm your provider. I may need a bath, but I'm a yes. And yet he still had the fear of being rejected. And so he would start to get really weird because he wanted to have sex, but he was trying to conceal that he wanted to have sex.
Yeah, and but for like you said about the like saying, how about tonight? And he's going, I don't know. But for me, I want to feel like you desire me all day, and then I want to the moment we can, because all day I've been feeling like you desire me and I desire you, and we're playful, and then by the time it's go time, we're like, I'm ready.
Exactly, which I think is, there are men who foreplay is a nightmare to them, but foreplay is what's needed when you surprise a woman, you shock her. My body needs to catch up with that. And foreplay is having your body catch up. But if it's present, right, like all day,
first chance, that we're doing it. Yes, then it feels that way. But if we're like walking past each other with the list, and did you go to can you please get this when you go to the now do you that it doesn't feel that same. It feels like a jolt.
A lot of these modern women, they're double-minded. That's why men don't really want to mess with them. Strong, independent one day, don't need no man one day. Female empowerment, women are the best one day, and then the next day, oh, my pinky is broken, I need help. Oh, it seems like a snake bit the back of my ankle, need some help. Seems like a rat crawled up my butt, I'm not gonna be able to do anything, I need help. That's what I was trying to tell you before, but you said you were strong and independent, you could just make a call. You just make a call. Okay, little CEO, go ahead and just make a call. You the godmother, go ahead and do it. Until you can't. There was one woman that was talking about, man, I have all of these men on my roster. And when it's time for them to show up for me, none of them are available. Interesting. None of them can help me take this up my stairs. Why would they? You didn't even offer them any lunch. Just come do it for free. And there's a plethora of examples. Modern women are expecting men. I want to use your muscles now. I want you to help me, and help me all day. While I sit up there and scream and holler at you, I'm not going to pay you nothing. I'm not even going to give you a drink of water. I got this hot water in my car. Do you want that? Have drink water that's been in there, sitting in the center console for 4, 5, 6 weeks under the seat with McDonald's fries sitting around it. Girl, get out my face, little ugly.
I don't even know why I'm doing this video, but I'm doing it because apparently I was impressed by the bare minimum, which I should not be impressed by. But today I was parked in front of a restaurant. I was sitting in my car. I noticed this couple come out of the restaurant. The guy immediately goes to his car to open the door for his girlfriend, I presume. I don't think they're married. So he opens the door, such a gentleman, waits for her to get in. He closes the door and then he goes to his side. I have no idea why this impressed me so much. That speaks a lot to the lack of chivalry that there is, that I was even impressed, and the fact that he did this for her, he held the door open for her. I just can't believe that there's not a lot of men out there like that. Like, I've met a few men that do have that in them, but it's just so crazy that the majority of men do not have basic, like, gentleman-like knowledge or skills or whatever you call it. Like, I don't know, it's just so crazy, and it shouldn't be like that, for me at least. I mean, I think most women appreciate that, but some may not. I am for chivalry. I'm all for men being a gentleman and being a man in all senses. So that to me is just crazy.
Guys, please listen to me. If a woman is not texting you, it's because she doesn't want to. If a woman is not going out with you, it's because she doesn't want to. If a woman is doing all of these things and is so busy, it's because she doesn't want to make time to see you. You need to focus your energy elsewhere. And as sad as this sounds, Toxic women will love that you are ignoring them. They will love the fact that you once were giving them a lot of attention and now you are not. They will see value in that. That will make them feel like there's a little mystery going on. And let me tell you this as a final message. That girl is somebody that you should stay away from, because that is a toxic way of being. And long term, that is not a healthy relationship to be in. And it is certainly not a healthy relationship dynamic that should be starting the relationship.
I told him I just got back from the gym. He said, "What'd you hit?" I said, "Glutes." He said, "Okay, little booty." What I mean?
Watch your mouth when you're talking to a man, because a lot of women do that, and then when they get snatched up, they're crying. And I'm not saying that it's okay to hit a woman or anything, but stop acting like a man, right?
Well, a lot of women, not all women, but a lot of women want the authority of a man, want the responsibility of a child, and want the perks of being a woman.
Yeah.
How asinine is that?
Right.
Because if you come at a man like a man, what do you want him to do?
Right.
Because he would not even allow another man to come at him like that. And 9 times out of 10, men don't come at other men like that because it would get.
Right.
But women, when you step into your masculine energy, what do you expect that man to do? Get into his feminine energy?
Yeah.
You want him, when have you ever had an argument or a spat or a situation with a man and he's like, okay, after you became aggressive with him? It almost never works like that. Your power is in your divine femininity.
I'm noticing that.
You're able to neutralize him. That is something we can't bypass. Ladies, when you come at us with your divine femininity, we become docile.
Yeah.
We become very pliable. You understand what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But when you approach us in this masculine energy, if I'm already masculine again, how do you think that's going to work?
Come in. What's your name?
My name is Uche.
Uche, how old are you?
I'm 23.
Okay. And Uche, what do you do?
I'm doing my master's in health information technology. I'm also a program coordinator for a health IT company.
Okay. There are not as many handsome men as there are beautiful women. That's why when we talk about him, we don't go like, girl, I just met this guy, like he's so hot. We don't even say that. And as soon as your friend's like, oh, let me see a picture, and you're like, well, let me find a good picture of him. Like, that man's not hot, babe.
Women being beautiful creatures is why, especially men, feel like they have some kind of credence over telling you
what you're supposed to look like.
Right.
Here's why a lot of modern women don't need to get married. They don't want to compromise. They do not see faults in themselves. They want a complete package, but they ain't a complete package. It is not always about how you feel. Feelings change. You cannot make decisions on a feeling. Not good at meeting anyone else's needs but their own. I say this all the time. Selfish people do not need to get married. It requires sacrifice, and it's not gonna always be about you.
When I saw Terry in the crowd, I looked up and our eyes met. And my heart just went bang, 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 just started thumping. It was love at first sight. I know this sounds like it's coming out of some Mills and Boon love novel, but it's true. Love at first sight. Next thing, whoa! I remembered where I was. Agro's trying to kill me. So I wound up the demo. Yep, thanks for coming. And then she stayed back and talked to me.
He said hello, and I think I said something really clever like hi.
And crikey, our love just went ballistic.
I love telling the Neanderthals that I'm no use to them. When they ask me, like, oh, I want to get to know you, I love your energy, I love your vibe, I just flat out say, you know what, I'm sorry, but I'm no use to a man. And then they get so perplexed, like they don't understand. Like they're like, what do you mean you're no use to a man? I'm like, yeah, like I don't cook, I don't clean, I don't cater. I'm a gold digger. I am selfish. I only like convenience. and like it just baffles them.
What's the number one thing that makes women feel unsafe from the man they're with?
I would say that showing a complete disregard for her emotional well-being, and that doesn't have to be sleeping. It doesn't have to go that far to sleeping with other women. It might be as simple as not replying to her messages, or behaving online, like liking it. I know it sounds so bizarre, but you'll be so surprised at how unsafe a woman can feel simply by watching whose pictures he's liking and commenting and saving. It's such a simple thing from a man, but from a woman's perspective, it almost ignites her fight or flight response. Is that weird to a man?
45 to 50% of men nowadays, like ages 18 to 25, are scared to approach a woman. Mainly them reporting that they're worried they're going to come off as creepy, like women are going to find them creepy, which is why obviously we have more of like the shift to Cuffed or Hinge, because I think on both sides people feel like you can maybe get to know a person a little bit better than like maybe having some sort of awkward interaction in person. I think it's good that we have options, right? Like people can do the dating app, or maybe if you're a little bit more confident to approach someone, like you can do that in person. But it is kind of crazy that almost like half the men out there just don't want to do it. It's wild.
That guy can and will change, but he will not change for anybody. He will only change for one woman. It is the one to him. And he almost has an epiphany in the moment or in that season of, oh my God, I cannot believe I almost lost her. And then his life flashes before his eyes, and then he sees that I do value her, but I have not been honoring her. And so I have to make the changes and evolve in such a way that I put things in place that I do not allow any other risk to come into this relationship and potentially ruin the best thing I have going. So that's the one guy that gets caught up. Okay. And he only changes for one woman, for the one for him.
I don't understand men who shame other men who choose not to holler at women anymore, or men who are just afraid to holler at women, because some of us men have always been rejected. Some of us men have always received nothing but rejection. So why the fuck would we waste our time trying to holler at these females when it's clear that they don't want our asses? Why the fuck would I waste my time trying to holler at these females when they make it obvious that I'm an unbearable, obnoxious? I don't understand why men try to shame other men who choose not to holler at females when some of us men are just ugly. And the first thing females judge off of is looks. Forget about the personality and all this other. They try to say, oh, it's about the way you dress. No, it's about your face. And if they're not with your face, they're not going to be with you. I'm just a goofy to them. I'm an uncertified bum. That's what I am to these women. I'm an uncertified pile of
Truth. A lot of y'all wouldn't even have no kids if you could only get pregnant if the man that you wanted would marry you. Let me break it down slow for some of y'all. If the only way you could get pregnant was that the man that you wanted, the man you actually want, would have to marry you first, a lot of y'all would not be mothers. You know why? Because a lot of the men that y'all dealt with didn't want you in that way. They only wanted to have you, and you just so happened to get pregnant, and because it was your body, your choice, you got to keep it. But you don't get to dictate marriage. You can dictate keeping that baby, but you can't dictate getting the man that you actually want to marry you. You cannot force him to do that. Either he wants to or he don't. And most of the time, they don't. And they finesse you into not wanting it too, because you know you'll never get it out of them. I know a lot of these conversations go over y'all head, and I have to remember I'm dealing with a group of girls who think that they got high standards because they turn down ice cream dates, but they smash dudes from Tinder on the same day because he bought.
If submission is so valuable, why aren't men earning it instead of demanding it?
I don't think a real man demands submission. I think a real woman just
submits naturally.
Because we naturally are submissive. We're only this way because life has made us harder, because we have to achieve, because we have to pay bills, because we have to protect our children. But if a man comes in and takes that stress off of us, naturally, we don't have to keep our armor on anymore, because we're no longer going to war the same. Our war is more spiritual. It's emotional. It's mental. It's not physical. That is the yin to the yang. That is the masculine to the feminine. That is the mix that we all need. That is why opposites attract. They're not talking about personality traits. They're talking about masculinity and femininity. Mm-hmm. So a real man, he don't have to ask that lady.
So speak to the men who demand submission from their...
Do better. Read a book. Learn some skills. have a better idea about leadership. John C. Maxwell is a great author about all things leadership. And he builds on a Christian-based mentality.
You want to know why men over 40 don't date? I'll tell you why. It's because society raised women to commit to careers, shopping, and hot girl summers, not husbands. And now the men who were once ignored, rejected, and overlooked are watching rebellion backfire and choosing peace over problems. Let's get one thing straight. This ain't about men being better. This ain't about men being weak. This is about men getting wise, men protecting their peace, and men finally realizing what marriage really costs when you choose a woman who ain't built for order, purpose, or submission. And if you're one of those women ready to say, well, maybe he just can't handle a strong woman, sit tight. Because the truth is, he didn't lose interest in you. He gained clarity. The first reason, here's the part women can't stand. Men are realizing their peace is more valuable than your presence. I'm gonna say that again. Men are realizing their peace is more valuable than your presence. So why invite chaos into a house that's already quiet, clean, and under control? A man with structure doesn't chase drama just because he's lonely. He protects his peace like it's gold.
A lot of women are for men to go back to approaching them in public, and I want to have a conversation about why this is no longer happening, because there are definitely two sides to this coin. So the first side is that a lot of men have been turned off to it because women become offended, they become extremely rude, they even go as far as to label the man creepy. But then on the other side, a lot of women are no longer wanting to be approached in public because of the way that the man handles rejection. Sometimes he starts to threaten her, he becomes verbally. He doesn't know how to take the no and to turn around and just leave. And so I want to have an open conversation in the comments. Men, I want to hear from you when it comes to, are you open to approaching women in public? And if not, what are your hesitations? And women, are you wanting men to still approach you in public? And if so, how do you think that they should handle rejection? Let's have a nice conversation in the comments. Don't get crazy, okay?
If you're trying to move on from somebody who doesn't want to be with you, here are 3 things I want you to do to actually move on. The first one that makes the most sense is you got to actually go no contact. And this means not looking at photos, not looking at their Instagram, not looking at text messages, because every single time you do that, you're reopening the wound. It takes 21 days for you to withdraw from this person because you have to allow your dopamine receptors to balance back out, because now your cortisol is high, but your neurotransmitters are all depleted. So every single time you look at their, you're restarting the clock. The second thing I want you to do is I want you to get a piece of paper and a pen. I want you to start to write and list all the ways that they actually showed up and the ways that you needed them to show up. That way you can see in black ink all of the ways this person wasn't there for you. Because every time your brain wants to play that trick of, oh, if only I had done this, maybe I would have gotten them. That's just your brain's way of trying to regain control. It thinks if it can figure out where the issues were, especially if you take accountability and ownership of them, then you had the control that this could have been different. Spoiler alert, that's not how that works. And the third one is the most important to me. You have to have new meaning making to the moments that you shared with this person. So if at night, every single night you guys spoke to each other and now you haven't spoken to this person in 2 weeks, do something for you. Maybe that means go for a walk, call a friend, do something that fills your cup. That way you can give your nervous system a corrective experience, because you don't grow by just sitting in this. You grow by validating your experience, being there for yourself, and not talking to yourself like an asshole.
Girl, do you realize you're about to lose something rare? He's doing everything he can to show you he loves you, to be there for you, to support you through your overthinking and emotional moments. And you're still creating distance. For what men like him are rare. Guys who genuinely care are hard to find, and you're treating this one like he's replaceable. Everyone keeps asking, where are the good guys? He's right in front of you. If you love him the way you say you do, then your actions need to reflect that. Because when someone gives their best and still feels invisible, it slowly convinces them they're not enough. It makes him feel unappreciated, taken for granted, and emotionally useless no matter how hard he tries. Over time, that feeling changes a man. He starts pulling back, protecting himself, and becoming emotionally guarded instead of open. That's how good men lose their softness. Not because they wanted to change, but because staying vulnerable stopped feeling safe. Once a good man feels unseen for too long, he doesn't argue or beg. He quietly withdraws and stops offering the effort that once came naturally. And when he finally stops trying, it's not because he didn't care. It's because he cared for too long without feeling met halfway. By the time you realize what you had, he's already learned the lesson you taught him. to give his effort only where it's valued.
Men have stopped giving women advice because what can you possibly tell somebody who already knows everything? A lot of times, women ask men for their opinion, not to actually listen, but to see if his answer matches what we already decided in our head. I'll give you an example. A man says to you, your attitude is going to stunt your growth. But instead of listening, right, we start defending that same stank attitude. Babe, stop spending money trying to look successful and actually save it. Now he's controlling, right? Telling us what to do with our hard-earned money. He tells you something like, you keep reacting emotionally instead of exercising discipline. You have to be reasonable in certain situations. Now he's too harsh and he's not your father. So eventually men stop talking. And it's not because they have nothing to say. It's simply because they get tired of talking to people who already decided they are not going to listen. People can sense when you ask for advice, but your mind is already made up. That's not asking for guidance. That's asking for validation. And a lot of times it's wanting to be enabled. A lot of men aren't leaving because they cannot handle a good woman. They are leaving because they are tired of paying for damage they did not cause. So you think you're Mr. Right, right? You check all the boxes. You're calm, you're consistent, you provide, and you are still getting attitude, you're still getting distance, you're still getting tested, you're still getting manipulated, you're still getting disrespected. Now you're confused because you don't get it. You don't see what it is you're doing wrong. And to be honest, it's nothing. You are simply dealing with somebody who's in defense and reactive mode. A lot of women don't hate men. They just don't know how to act when they are not being hurt. So they self-sabotage. They create problems where there are none. They question intentions that are clear and they pull away when things start to feel steady. Because these women are used to chaos and peace feels unfamiliar and unfamiliar feels unsafe. And a lot of men, they're going to deal with that for a while, but at some point they're going to check out. Because no man wants to keep proving himself to somebody who is committed to misunderstanding him.
Every person that you meet in Christ is not your spouse. I want to talk about this today because a lot of the times when you are a person who is visible online and you are actively professing your faith, the enemy will try to send multiple distractions in the format of a man or the format of a woman. And I want to talk about this because all of us in Christ have the capacity to be a counterfeit. Just because you see someone who you think is desirable in the light of desire for you doesn't mean that that person is your spouse. The word of God says that you're to test the spirits. So everything that you see in this world, you are to take it up in prayer with God, and I highly encourage fasting as well. Seeing someone online doesn't, or even in real life, doesn't automatically mean that this person is an option for you. The word of God says that we are not to be yoked with unbelievers. So yes, there needs to be an equal of the yoke when it comes to your belief system. But it also says, how can two come together unless they agree? Two people coming together means there's two lifestyles, there's two ideologies, two belief systems, two ways of eating, two different ways of living, there's two different families that's coming together. That means that everything needs to mesh. Just because you see someone who walks in Christ and loves the Lord, it does not mean that that is your spouse. Yes, you can see somebody and you both might be followers of Christ, but they might be someone who has a very holistic lifestyle while you believe in Western medicine. Or they might be someone who wants to live on a farm and you want a penthouse in downtown Atlanta. Lifestyles have to align, values have to align, and everyone that follows Christ is not going to be a suitable option for you. And that's okay.
5 signs you are dating a husband material. If your boyfriend has any of these 5 signs I'm about to list, please hold him tight for marriage. Number one is quick to apologize, even when he's not at fault. Hold him tight. You see, this kind of men, they always want to win agreement, not argument. Number two, he listens to you without interrupting, especially when you're expressing your concerns, when you're expressing frustration, when you're telling him what he did that you don't like, or just general life stress that you're facing. He will hear you, he would pause and respond intelligently. Hey, you hit jackpot, though. He's a sweet guy. Please hold him tight. Number three is self-controlled. This is what separates boys from men. He's not quick to react. He's slow to speak. He's not impulsive. He doesn't just let situations throw him off balance. Man, hold him tight. Number four, he tells you everything. He's an honest guy. He tries to even run things through you. What do you think? Should I buy this shoe? Should I send this money to this person? Should I take this course? He doesn't hide anything from you. Phone password, his plans, his goals, his disappointments. He tells you everything. This is a man you can build with. There's stability, security, and safety. Nothing can throw you off balance. Number five, he lives up to his words. In summary, his words and his action match. This is a leader. This is a man that when you marry him, he won't be telling you, you have to submit. These are intelligent leaders because they know how to lead themselves. That's what leadership is. Influence us. Do it first. Get your hands dirty first. You want your wife to respect you, respect her. If you have these 5 signs in your boyfriend, please hold him tight. If you now have all these signs but you're still confused because of one thing or the other, this is where Talk to Tolu comes in. A 60-minute session, one-on-one video call with me. You can click the link on my page if you want to book that. See you later.
What's funny is that a lot of these modern women out here, they say silly stuff like, oh, he's a senior engineer at his job, makes good money, got a good job, he's stable. But because she don't know what the heck she's doing, she'll go out there and be like, oh, he wasn't ambitious enough for me. What? Yeah, he wasn't doing it like I was doing it. He's not on my level. Bam. You make $10 an hour. That man probably make 250 to 200K. He's well above. He's well above anything that you could have even imagined or dreamed of. And it's sit up there stupid. Like, what were you looking for? What should he be doing? Literally, I'm thinking a woman that said something to the effect of, the matchmaker was confused. She was like, hey, he's a doctor, he's doing this, and this. What kind of doctor is he? She said this. I'm not joking. I can't remember the name of the I can see her face. I can't remember. Essentially, and you've probably seen her. I think at one point in time she made her rounds of social media. I know of another creator that actually did a video on her. She's vetting these women, and these women are saying, well, where's he doing his residency at? Can we get, transcripts and, confirm that this is what he's doing? Because this, based on what my dad told me, this is the type of doctor that I'm looking for. What? No, shut up.